It is that time, 7:30, so I'm going to call the regular City Commission meeting of Tuesday, April 5th, 2016 to order. And if you could all join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We could start with an approval of the agenda. Actually, we have one change that I know of. Item number 4, we're deleting the matter of considering amending Chapter 6 of the Building and Grounds regarding fences for this meeting, but we are going to add in its place setting a special meeting here at City Hall on April 28th at 6:30 to meet with the representatives of the zoo. So, any other changes?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda subject to the changes you just outlined.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of the minutes. We have 2 sets from the regular commission meeting and the special meeting of March 29th.
I'll move that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting from March 15th, 2016, and the special meeting of March 29th, 2016.
Fourth.
Any comments or questions? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved and accepted. We had no communications, so I'm going to move directly into public participation. Do we have anyone from the public that would, actually, before I do that, I almost forgot here. I have a new little thing that I wanted to read. Now is the time we come to the portion of the agenda where our citizens may present their thoughts on issues that are not included on tonight's agenda. Commission members will not engage you in discussion. If your concern needs to be addressed by a member of city staff or department of the city, please print your name and contact information on the sheet provided at the clerk's table. You may speak on a specific agenda item when it is being considered. When you come forward to the microphone, please state your name and address. Thank you.
Good evening, David Sloan, 8050 Lincoln, Huntington Woods. I was at a few conferences in the last month, and I wanted to share them with you. And if any of the commission or staff members or residents have any questions or would like to ask me about any of them at any time, feel free to call me or contact me. I attended the Michigan Association of Municipal Attorneys Conference, which was in Lansing at the same time as the Michigan Municipal League. And they covered a few interesting topics, such as the new adverse possession law, which is going to insulate municipalities, due process at public hearings, electronic participation at public meetings, and issues on water cutoffs. And another interesting thing, which was police body cameras and how costs and how that affects its use, and an area of transparency. I also attended the Municipal Energy Commission network program, which was last week in Ferndale. Saving money as a result of that. I also attended the Transit Authority meeting, which was last Sunday in Pontiac, and this is going to be a fantastic thing because of bus rapid transit is what they're working on, and Commissioner Jenks, I'm sure, is very involved in that. So they're going to be the 3 lines of Woodward Avenue, Gratiot, and then a line going to the airport. And then there's a line between Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor, and this will be worked in with Amtrak and all the other smaller lines. On May 31st, they will be publishing their first report. And there will be a ballot issue in November to help finance that. I also attended the Public Corporation Section winter meeting. I'm a member of that. And the right-of-way regulation and some sewer backup liability protection for the cities. So if anybody wants to contact me, I'll be glad to share any information I receive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Autumn Zakara and I'm a 7th grader at Anderson Middle School. I'm here representing Anderson Middle School, Tri-Community Coalition, and the YU Youth Group. YU stands for Young, Optimistic, and United, and serves as the youth coalition for the TCC. There are YU chapters at Oak Park High School, Berkeley High School, and Anderson Middle School. This year, YU joined forces with SLS, Students Leading Students, at Berkeley High and Oak Park High. Our SLS YU chapters are student-led, and we discuss the things that affect our community and our school environment, and how to improve our self-esteem and our character. YU has taught me leadership skills, refusal skills, and how to prepare for outside pressures after middle school and into high school. The Tri-Community Coalition began a program this year called ACE. ACE is a program that teaches us how to improve our character to every student. We learn how to follow the 6 pillars of character: citizenship, caring, fairness, respect, and responsibility, and trustworthiness. We also learn how to develop coping skills and refusal skills, etc. Furthermore, I'm here today because of another YU activity. Last year, the Tri-Community Coalition introduced an additional leadership component to YU, the Community Ambassador. Community is this one here today. Thank you for your time and your consideration on behalf of the Tri-Community Coalition and the YU Youth Group.
Thank you very much for coming. I just want to let everyone know something about Autumn. She said she was a 7th grader at Anderson Elementary, or Anderson Middle School, I'm sorry. And she's been involved with the Youth Coalition for a couple of years, and just earlier this year joined the Community Ambassador Program, where she's been regularly attending meetings and working on her public speaking skills. And this is actually the first public forum presentation that she's made, and I think you did an excellent job. Thank you very much, and we look forward to future times when you come to the meeting and keep us updated on what's going on with the Tri-Community Coalition.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public participation? Seeing none, we'll move on to the proclamations. We have 2 proclamations tonight. The first one is one that we do annually regarding Arbor Day in Huntington Woods, and I'm just going to spot a couple of the highlights here on that one rather than doing all the whereases and save my time for the second proclamation here. But Arbor Day is very important to the city of Huntington Woods. We've been a Tree City USA recipient for 30 years and have annually planted trees in honor of Arbor Day, both in city parks and common areas as well as city easements. So therefore, I'm going to resolve that the city of Huntington Woods does proclaim April 22nd, 2016 as Earth Day, and April 29th, 2016 as Arbor Day in the city of Huntington Woods, and urge all residents to join in the celebration by supporting the city's urban forestry program and by planting, nurturing, and protecting trees on both public and private property for the betterment of our community. Proclaim this at the regular city commission meeting of April 5th, 2016. Our second proclamation of the city of Huntington Woods is declaring April 2016 to be Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in the city of Huntington Woods. Whereas abuse and neglect are suffered by children in our communities, regardless of age, race, gender, or economic situation, and because whereas 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18, and whereas this reported maltreatment is only a portion of the overall problem threatening our children, for so many cases go unreported, and today's technology has brought with it new and dangerous forms of child endangerment, the online predator. And whereas the devastating consequences of physical and emotional abuse of our children affects the community as a whole, and finding solutions needs to be attended to by our community as a whole. Whereas the state of Michigan has a mandatory reporting by professionals working with children of any suspected abuse and neglect incidents is a major step, but more is needed in the community. Whereas Care House of Oakland County works to break the cycle of child abuse and neglect, provides a protective circle of light and hope for a better life, and advocates for safety and protection of children. And whereas Care House of Oakland County partners with community organizations and agencies to offer programs and services aimed at preventing child abuse and neglect, knowing that effective programs succeed because of the involvement and partnerships created among schools, social service agencies, religious and civic organizations, the business community, and law enforcement agencies. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed, children deserve to grow and thrive in an environment that nurtures and keeps them safe. Be it further proclaimed that the City of Huntington Woods, on behalf of all local residents, hereby proclaims April as Child Abuse Prevention and Awareness Month in the City of Huntington Woods. Be it further proclaimed that the Huntington Woods City Commission calls upon all citizens, community agencies, organizations, and businesses to increase their participation in our efforts to prevent the abuse of our children, thereby strengthening and protecting the community in which we live. Proclaimed this 5th day of April 2016. Thank you for allowing us to make that. And now we get to move on to the actual items of business. First up is the proposed 2016-17 city budget. You're trying to
Throw back there.
which everyone has received on their desk here. This is strictly a matter of receiving the budget. It is required by charter that the commission receives the budget at the first meeting of April. Next couple of agenda items will be addressing some of the budget sessions that we'll be having to discuss it, as well as a public hearing on it. So at this point, I just need a motion to receive.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Budget has been received. It's great reading, I'm sure. If nothing else, might put us to sleep.
It'll keep you up at night, yeah. Keep you up at night.
Scintillating.
Scintillating stuff.
There you go. Okay, second item of business is setting a city commission meeting to discuss and work on a budget session. I think everyone has been contacted, and Thursday, April 28th at 6:30 work for the commission. I can have a motion to set that as a special meeting of the city commission.
So moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll see everybody on April 28th. Agenda item number 3. You want to take this one in?
Yeah, this is officially will set the public hearing for public comments on the budget once you've had your budget study session on April 28th. And the public hearing is set for the regular commission meeting on May 17th with that starts at 7:30, so we need a motion to set and advertise the public hearing for that date.
So moved.
Second?
Any comment from the public? Any questions or comments at the city commission? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item number 4 has, the original one was deleted, but we would like to set up a meeting starting at 6:30 at the same date as the budget session meeting on April 28th with representatives of the zoo to discuss the zoo fencing and screening adjacent to Huntington Road. So, do I have any comments from the public? We have a motion to,
Mr. Mayor, I'll move that we set a special meeting for April the 28th with representatives from the Detroit Zoo.
Second?
any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, moving right along. Board and commission and committee appointments. We just finished some interviews, and we had also done a couple of interviews 2 weeks ago, I think it was. And we have some vacancies that we can fill. A couple of them are commission vacancies. One of the boards is a mayoral appointment, so I'll start with that and make a motion for the ethics board of just the ethics board, yeah. I don't want to say appeal. I would like to make 3 appointments. They are alternate positions, and we're going to stagger these terms. So I'm going to appoint, or I would like to appoint Ellen Kogan-Lipton to a 3-year term expiring December of 2018, to John Jacobs to a 2-year term expiring December of 2017, and Andrew Franklin to a 1-year term expiring December of 2016. I need a motion, and I need a motion to do that. It's just
So move.
Second.
Any comments from the public? Any comments from the commission? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Should show me as an abstention on that. I should be down as an abstention on that.
Okay. Okay, there are a couple of commission appointments.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move to appoint Rick Poland of 10524 LaSalle Boulevard, property manager of appeals.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Anybody care to make a second motion for the budget advisory?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to move that Adam Kaplan of 13151 Winchester be appointed.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now successfully our vacancies with the exception of one. We have one vacancy on the Public Art Beautification Board.
One on
Is there one
environmental.
on environmental as well? And one on environmental, so if there's anyone out there interested in helping out the city, we have a couple of spots available.
And those are fun committees too.
They are. They're all fun. Okay. Item number 6 is a matter of considering the community garden proposal.
Yes, we had Reddish, resident who proposed this originally and has sort of spearheaded it, taken the concept to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, which after discussion did recommend making a recommendation to the commission that this be tried as a trial basis at the eastern side of the 11-mile Huntington Park. It's currently doesn't have, it was taken down. There are no immediate plans to park equipment up until that time. Be a good use for that property. There's water at the site. There's a fountain with a spigot near the tennis courts, and the group is willing to run a hose to their gardens, and they'll remember to turn it off after they use it.
I hope so. Yes.
The proposal was in your packet, and if you have any questions, I'm sure Aaron will be happy to address those.
Any comments from the public?
Do I go up there?
Please.
Can I go up from my seat?
Hi, I'm Marion Lizardi. Most people know me as Midge, 12726 Vernon. I heartily support the concept of a community garden. I think it is a wonderful idea. I think it nurtures us as residents of the city, and I would like to see it go forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Harvey Schwartzman, 25895 Salem, also want to support the community garden. I think for the rec center very much, and it would be nice to have some projects in the park that would be good for adults as well. I support the garden.
Thank you. We have a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'll move that the city grant approval for a community garden at 11 Mile and Huntington, the Huntington Park pilot project that will be revisited after 1 year.
Second?
Any discussion? Questions? Commissioner Jenks?
Sets up its own rules. But number 5 says assignment of garden plots will be awarded by a lottery system, which I think is great for a community garden. But then the next sentence reads, preference for the next year's plots will be given to this year's participants first. I would hope as a community garden that there's no preference, that on an annual basis there be a lottery, so that everyone in the community has an equal opportunity to use that. The discussion pointed out that at the end of the year, each of the beds would be cleaned up. Obviously, if a group of people that had something last year get in the lottery, then maybe they can take their lots. But it would just seem that the first group in, if it fills up, anyone that wanted to follow would have to wait till one of the members died. So that's my only concern. And obviously, we're voting for 1 year, so it's something that is changeable in the future.
Yeah, but possibly it can be expanded,
Sure.
if
Do you want
there's
me to address
overwhelming
that, or
support.
do you want me to address that, or?
Sure.
Yeah, so, that's, yeah, we will address that next year. I mean, the rules and regulations I took from, were based on the American Community Gardens Association, and this is the standard practice that's done in basically every community garden in the region. The whole point is that if you cultivate the land, that next year you'll be able to reap your rewards. But if there's too many people for the plot, we can divide it up. If there's turnover, we hope that this pilot project is very successful and that we can expand it, or we can find more locations, or whatever. I mean, so yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Mr. Mayor, in response to Commissioner Jenks, I think we ought to let these people run it as they see fit for a year. We're entrusting it to them, how they choose to allocate or let people participate. You know, it's a citizen project. I don't think anybody I mean, I understand the idea of, well, we'll have a lottery, but Mr. Reddish's point made, you know, there's merit to that as well. So I just prefer to let them run it themselves, and I think we can do them a service by butting out how they run the community garden. I'd make a motion to butt out, Commissioner.
I said,
Is that good
they'll
advice?
come back next year, and you see what happens.
That was not an official motion, just.
We do not have the kind of space that most have. I mean, this would have been automatic in many communities. There is so much empty space. Anyway, I mean, my concern is for next year, again, this is a private organization putting it together. So it's up to you, but you come back a year from now.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to commend Mr. Reddish and the residents for bringing this idea forward. I think it's great, and continue to work with our Parks and Rec department and Parks and Rec board, and look forward to having it back a year from now, and we'll see how it went, and hopefully continue it on for years to come.
Hope so.
Okay. Any other comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Number 7 is a matter of consideration, a letter of support for the Clinton River Watershed Grant.
This is a grant for the Clinton River watershed, and they are looking for letters of support from all the contributing communities, of which we are one through the George Kuhn Drain. It's a non-match grant, so this is just a matter of support for the grant application to show that the communities are supportive of the plan.
Any public comment? We have a motion to,
So moved.
Second?
any discussion, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Agenda item number 8 is a matter of considering recognizing the Village in the Woods as a recognized community organization.
Yes, the Village in the Woods, their, what's your title?
I'm the director.
Director, thank you. Sorry, their director is here if you have any questions. There is a process to be recognized as an official organization. They have met all of those criteria. The basic benefits of a recognized group is reduced rental rates of city facilities. And so this is on your agenda for consideration. And I believe there's also some members of your group are here as well.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that we recognize the Village in the Woods as a recognized community organization.
Second.
Any comments from the public before we move forward?
Ken Zeno, 8634 Huntington. We are about to enter into a business agreement that reduces rates for an outside organization. Do I understand that correctly?
No.
It's not considered
They're
an
not an
outside.
outside organization, as a matter of fact.
Okay, where does the director reside? And what percentage of the budget
90%
goes to fees?
of the members are residents of Huntington Woods.
And we will be paying the director how much?
Nothing.
Nothing?
No.
So the residents will be paying the director?
I'm not aware of their.
Well, they're gonna charge fees to residents, is that correct?
For services.
Yes, they do.
And the services are defined as what, Amy? I mean,
They provide concierge services to members that join the organization, and there's an agreement between the member and the organization. The city's not involved in that.
okay.
But they also provide social activities and events that residents can attend free of charge.
Okay, but where is the waiver on fees for the city? I don't understand why this fits in here.
Just the rec department?
So they could use the
Room
rec
rental,
center
yes, room rental.
at a reduced rate?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I would just say, when I was out door knocking during the last campaign, I met a lot of residents. A lot of residents had a lot of good things to say about the organization, and they like being a part of it, and so I have no issue recognizing them and giving them a official designation.
Yeah, they provide a lot of services to seniors that are needed. They're local here, rather than you have to travel 100 miles. The only thing is, I seem to remember you folks being around longer than 3 years. No? Maybe it's just in Huntington Woods.
We initially came and spoke to the commission in early 2013. We hadn't really opened our doors yet. We opened our doors to membership in July of 2013.
Okay. But I mean, peak service, we have an aging population, as do all the communities in this area. And the more services that we have available, I realize you don't have an age restriction or anything like that. But I mean, there's a lot of services that go towards seniors, vetting, vendors and stuff like that, which is extremely valuable. And it's not something that the city really has that capacity to go into.
I would just like to say that I also think this is a great addition to the city for residents who wish to age in place. This is something that really enables them to do that. It can be hard, and my grandfather lived here, and just trying someone who could. It was very. Someone he. I think this is a great addition.
Comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Agenda item number 9, before I turn this over to our city manager, this is consideration of updating the employee personnel manual, which has not been updated since 2001, and the skill to rewrite this and go through the whole thing and get us up to date and in writing what many of our practices are was a skill and ability that came along with our city manager when we hired her 2 years ago. And this is working on for the last 2 years, so thank you for your efforts and putting this all together for us. If you want to take over and lead us through it.
Yes. I have this off my desk as well. I would like to point out that Commissioner Jenks pointed out on page 2, I had referenced a bullying policy. There should be bullying. Autocorrect for that. But this is something that will address both full-time, part-time employees, union and non-union, where applicable, in terms of as long as it doesn't conflict with the collective bargaining agreement. Brings us into line with up-to-date federal, local, and state laws, as well as bring our benefits up to the current practice. So if you will approve the revisions that are outlined in the personnel manual tonight, then we will get this distributed to all the employees, and they will be put on notice with policies regarding discrimination, bullying, social media, platform use, that type of thing that we didn't have to address in 2001.
Commissioner Jenks.
Yeah, I'd like to move that we adopt the employee personnel manual that's presented to us today.
I'll second.
Okay, any comments from the public? Commissioner comments, questions?
Commend the work. In today's world, having it reduced to writing like that is a good idea.
Mr. Mayor, I would also commend the city manager for a lot of fine tuning and updating that needed to be done. One of the big things that we're doing is non-union folks will now move to a retiree health savings plan effective January 1 of 2016. So anyone hired, after that date will be on this retiree savings plan. As we get ready for our upcoming budget meetings, I know the commission's already begun discussions about, addressing pension and retiree health care liabilities. At least for the non-union folks, this will begin to move us toward addressing that funding gap. So, good work.
Commissioner Jenks?
Yeah, I appreciate the clarity that you put in there as it related to benefits, as it related to the rights of retirees to buy into the system, as it related to what was a temporary, what was a full-time worker. I appreciated the section on bullying. A lot of people completely ignore that, assuming it only is something that applies to young people. I appreciated the human rights sections in here, but it was just very, very clear. It was a new or an old employee can pick this up and figure out what happens to me when I retire, what happens to my health insurance, who is covered based on when I began work, what those coverage components are. And it avoids, I think, a lot of litigation and hardship, or I almost would call it hardship, because employees can very, very clearly understand what the process is for work, for non, you get the benefits especially.
Mr. Mayor, I have one additional question for the city. It mentioned that the city may require pre-employment physical and drug screens. Is that a typical practice? I know it says may, but do we generally require that for new hires?
For full-time,
Okay.
but not always part-time and not seasonal.
Okay,
So it's on a case-by-case basis.
great.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll have a new revised and updated personnel manual.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reports and minutes. We have 3 sets of reports and minutes. We have a motion to receive and file them.
So move.
I'll second.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Reports and minutes are received and filed. And move on to warrant number 309. Do we have a motion to accept subject to full audit?
So move.
Second?
Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor,
I have one.
Commissioner Jenks.
Just a comment. We prepaid the golf league. Sometimes Rackham forgets that we do contribute to their revenue stream.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Warrant number 309 has been accepted. City managers report.
Yes, 2 items, one from Recreation, a reminder from Recreation, and one from the library, and that is Burton School will be undergoing some construction this year, so the camps are gonna be at the Recreation Center instead of Burton School, so room rentals for the rec center will be suspended from June through August, and they'll resume again in September, once those rooms are available to us. And also from the library, this was a new program I wasn't aware of. It's called Food for Be hosted this year again by the Library Network and Suburban Library Cooperative between April 1st and April 29th with donations to community food. So for this program, the Huntington Library will be collecting non-perishable food donations in exchange for forgiveness and fines. Last year, they were able to feed 6,900 meals through the nearest community food bank. So if you happen to accidentally have to pay the library a fine, please bring in canned goods instead. And that's all.
Thank you. Unless there are any questions of the city manager, we'll move on to commissioners' remarks. Commissioner Jenks, looks like you have a pile of remarks in front of you here.
Well, I'll get rid of this part. And I'm this comment, so for the manager, I will have what I've tried to supply you with is, I've been to meetings recently. With SEMCOG, everyone should have a copy of Access to Core Services. It really explains the problem that we have in the metro region. People being quite far from their jobs, healthcare, parks, education, and a need for better connections. And the documents there, I've given each of you a current congressional directory. The next SEMCOG General Assembly, which everyone is invited to, is June 23rd. SEMCOG also talks, there's a study on Partnering for Progress, which has been done with the Metropolitan Affairs Coalition, Growing Together, a Wallace Foundation study, a National League of Cities Advocating for America, what their policy is, Savings and Solutions. We currently use the warranty program as it relates to our sewer connections from the house to the city. I was in Washington. I have been lobbying, and it's not the first year, for tax-free municipal bonds. Right now, we're able to pay a much lower interest rate because the interest rate on municipal bonds is tax-free. Some of the discussion in Washington is that's a loophole, they have to get rid of it. It would cost every city, every county, every township. Another thing that I've been lobbying on is online sales tax. When you buy things, very frequently you go online, if that you buy it from another state, they do not pay either to their own state or to us a sales tax. And even though we don't have a lot of commerce, that still shortchanges both the state and hurts a lot of the small businesses that we have. I've given you a new study on creating 21st century communities, which was just produced by the Michigan Municipal League. I've also been lobbying the new transportation bill, authorizes funds for 5 years. The problem is because they haven't raised the gas tax in almost 20 years, it has to be, part of it has to come from the general fund. And so there's no guarantee that that will occur. And then the last thing, and I'll make it very brief, is that there's a municipal finance crisis. The city of Huntington Woods over the last 10 years has been shortchanged in revenue sharing $2.1 million. During the last 3 years, it's virtually been $250,000 a year. That would completely clear any kind of underfunding that we have, would have allowed us to expand what we're doing. In the state of Michigan, well, nationwide, local government funding went up by 48%. In the state of Michigan, local government funding over the last 10 years went down by 57%. Although the state revenues in general have increased, our funding in general has gone down. They have used really takeaways from us. Well, you can look at the amounts, and you can get them up on a website, and I will send each of you the link. I think I may have already sent you a story on that. But our biggest problem is statutory, which the legislature has to appropriate. In 2003 was above $250,000. This year in 2015, it was $73,000. Even though the constitutional parallels the state revenues, and constitutional revenue sharing was $410,000 in 2003, and last year it was $475,000, so it's gone up. One of the things the Michigan Municipal League is working on, as with the governor's office, but also with a lot of different groups, is trying to get what was agreed to many years ago, a percentage of funds of the total revenue of the state, a certain percentage would be returned to local governments. And that percentage continues to decline. There also will be later, I believe this month, Robert Wittenberg is doing a presentation on changing the tax structure in the state. And I would encourage you to check on that. But municipal finance is an issue that impacts us. The reality is we had a great flood, and there were 12 other communities in our system, and probably 30 to 50 other communities in southeast Michigan that had the same problem. Our systems, our sewers, are between 50 and 100 years old, and that is replacement point in time, and the monies just aren't there. So municipal finance is critical. Infrastructure and the ability to fund and replace our infrastructure is critical, and I'll tell you more about it later.
Thank you.
I have no comments.
Mayor Pro Tem Lozelle.
Mr. Mayor, just one item. Beginning tomorrow or possibly Thursday, residents will see a new program on the local government channel that I started called Commissioner's Corner. It's a half-hour program where I have guests from state, county, local officials talking about information that's relevant to citizens in our city. It's designed to improve and increase communication. My first guest was our city manager, where we talked about communication, Sam's Market, the senior housing study, relevant issues that are going on. For those folks who don't have Comcast or WOW, it'll be available on the city's YouTube channel. And once the schedule is set, I'll have that information out, and potentially the city in an e-blast on when that program will be available for viewing. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Olsberg.
No comments tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. That leaves it to me. I just would like to take a brief moment on behalf of the Huntington Woods Men's Club and not only thank the community, 800 plus people that attended our auction, but the many residents who have businesses in the area that donated gifts and purchased ads, all helped to contribute to a great evening that grossed almost $170,000, which is a record amount for the men's club in one night. And we're looking forward to the work starting on Scotia Park renovation shortly after the 4th of July, I think is the plan. So thanks again to the entire community for their support. with that, don't fear the snow that's supposed to be coming tonight because baseball opening day happened today, and so we know that spring is here. As Ernie Harwell would say, this is the time of the singing of the birds, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. So have faith. Good night.
It was nice meeting you.